As it's being live streamed. Yes, I am consenting to being live streamed. Oh, nice. That's the first sentence on the live stream. All right. Well, now that we're live, welcome everyone to another HashiCorp Live. So we're starting today. It's been a while actually, and just kind of, yeah, welcome. Happy Friday. It's end of day. And we're going to be doing some DevOps dojos. I've got Taylor on as my co-host and secondary. We're going to be live coding together.
Hey.
And our guest today is Renan Diaz, and he'll be doing the DevOps dojo with us.
Very excited to be here.
And just before we get started with everything, I just wanted to remind everyone that we do have a code of conduct. So if you're joining us today and you're willing, well, you're hoping to participate in chat or be involved, just please take a moment to review the code of conduct. You can find it at hashicorp.com/community-guidelines. And just kind of in general, just remember to be welcoming, inclusive, friendly, and patient, considerate, respectful, and professional. We want to make sure that it's a space that everyone kind of feels comfortable coming in and participating in, and we'd like to keep doing these. So yeah. And with that, I think now I kind of started introducing you and then was like, but let's do some real introductions first. I'll be your host today. My name is Jackie Gernrod. I'm a developer advocate here at HashiCorp, and I typically work with Nomad and a little bit of Waypoint. I guess, Taylor, do you want to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. So thank you so much, Jackie. Howdy, everybody. And thank you, Renan, for joining us today. My name is Taylor Dolezal, and I work mostly with all things infrastructure. So whether it be application delivery or the developer experience on our tools and our workflows, that's what's got me interested. So you'll find me mostly working with Terraform, Waypoint, and I'll dabble a bit with Consul and Nomad, Boundary, and Vault, and just some other things on that front. But really excited to help y'all solve problems as they come up. And yeah, please feel free to ask questions as things come up today, and we'll be happy to get those answered. Otherwise, just really excited to be here today. I've had some fun with Kubernetes lately, really excited to shift into Nomad and kind of see how those things apply here as well.
All right, that was an awesome intro. I don't know if I can beat that. So hey everyone, my name is Renan Diaz, and I am a senior architect at Slalom Build. So I focus mostly on cloud DevOps and security solutions. Been in IT industry for nearly 10 years, and I think majority of the time I've been focused mostly on working with cloud and DevOps.
Awesome, thank you. So just, I guess, to kind of give a quick overview of today, what we're going to be doing is doing a DevOps dojo. Renan built these out, and Taylor and I actually went to the last time he ran the Nomad one last September, I believe. And it was really fun and awesome. And I'm really happy to have him here today because we've been wanting to do this live stream for a while now. So I'm very happy to see it working out. Yeah, exactly. I guess, would you like to give an overview of what we'll be doing today?
Yeah, of course. So basically, for those who are not familiar, so the Dojo is an event that we've been doing for I think for 3 years now, and it's an event that is 100% hands-on. So basically, we give the attendees a challenge, and then they get together, they team up, and they have to build a solution for that challenge. Everything is 100% hands-on. We provide all the infrastructure, so the attendees don't have to spend time like spinning things up and so on. And it's mostly for fun, right? For networking, getting to know other people, and also to learn technologies.
Perfect. I think the next thing I had was the actual dojo intro, and to get into the problem statement, if you're ready for that.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's bring it up on the screen.
Do you want me to link out the GitHub that we'll be going off of? Well, your GitHub that we're going off of for this, or do you want me to link that out later?
Yeah, I think so, because then everyone can follow along as well if they want. And yeah, so you can just put on the chat.
Okay, I'm gonna awkwardly lean around my laptop while I type into the chat, but yeah.
Yeah, so basically all of the, all of the previous challenges. So we're going to be focused on a Nomad one, but there's been so many challenges that we've done in the past, Kubernetes, Terraform, CI/CD, networking on AWS. And so you can find all the challenges in that GitHub username. So everything is going to be there. And then for this one, if you want to follow along, there is a folder in the link that Jack is going to post where you can just launch all the resources on an AWS account. Perhaps there might not be enough time to do now before we get started, but we can always come back to the live stream and spin up the resources and follow along with us.
Perfect. I dropped it into chat. It's actually direct linking to the problem statement because that's where I was when I copy pasted. But
yeah, all right.
Yeah, I guess I feel like I'm putting you on the spot because I'm hosting, but you're usually the one that runs the dojos, and I'm like, today I'm an
yeah, of
attendee,
course.
and I'm like hosting. So
no, I was just gonna ask you maybe if you can share your screen so we can see the problem statement and the solution, because there's gonna be a diagram, so I think it's good for people to follow along that way.
yes, I just right before the stream, I was like, oh, I need to change this one Zoom setting so I can screen share, and then I just did not. So just fixing that.
No worries.
And now you should be able to see it.
All right, there you go. Okay, so basically for each one of the dojos, we're always going to start with a problem statement, and this is just so you have an idea of what kind of problem we're trying to solve. And especially if you're in a, let's say, consulting industry, there's going to be a lot of times where you go to a client and they're gonna they're gonna say a bunch of requirements. So this is just to give you a little bit of a scenario, so you have an idea what we're trying to do. And then after that, there's going to be a diagram with a proposed solution. And that's basically what we're going to be building today. So let's take a look at the problem statement first. Jackie, if you can just zoom in a little bit, just so it's a little bit easier to read. All right, perfect. Okay, so this is just a hypothetical scenario. Okay, this is definitely not true. So JJR is a multinational corporation that has recently decided to migrate all their applications to the cloud. And because the cloud is such a dynamic environment where servers can be easily replaced, they want to use an application scheduler. So their DevOps team has been doing a POC with Kubernetes, but they all agree that Kubernetes is unnecessarily complex. And then after attending a HashiCorp Digital, a HashiConf Digital this year, or actually last year when we did it, and meeting you, so in this case, Jackie and Taylor as the Nomad experts. So JGR's DevOps lead was adamant that Nomad could be the application scheduler that they were looking for. So basically here, what we're doing, we're hiring both Jackie and Taylor to come and build a POC for us. And they're going to be using Nomad to showcase the following. So running containerized and non-containerized workloads, scaling application processes, service discovery, application health checks, load balancing, and Canary deployments. So these are all the things that we're going to be showcasing with Nomad. And then, yeah, so let's go to the proposed solution. So in the proposed solution, basically what's going to happen is we're going to have a Nomad server where we're going to run all of the commands to deploy the workloads. Then we're going to have a Nomad client, and that's where we're going to run all of the containerized and non-containerized workloads. So you're going to see a couple of Docker containers running, and that's going to be for a front end. And then on top of the Docker containers, you see a little icon. So this is the Fabio's icon for, so Fabio is a load balance solution. So we're going to be using Fabio to be able to access the front end containers. And then on the right hand side, you see Consul. So then basically what's going to happen is for Fabio to find out where the Docker containers are within the cluster. That's how we're going to configure things. So then Consul is going to be used for service discovery. And through Consul, Fabio is going to be able to find all of the containers and start, serving traffic to it. I guess I just want to, before we follow along, Jack and Taylor, do you have any questions about the solution, about what you see in the screen?
No, I think that looks good to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely defer to Jackie on that front.
This seems good to me too.
Yeah. All right. So, well, I guess we're ready for coding. So who's going to be taking the lead and coding?
Every time I go to find the unmute button, I'm like, where did it go? Why did you move it? I can do that. And, if I have to troubleshoot stream stuff, then I'll tap Taylor and we can swap off.
All right, perfect. So maybe before we switch over to the ID so we can start coding, let's go to the first phase. So this challenge is broken down into different phases. This getting started section, if you're following along later, this is basically just so you can set up your AWS environment. So if you deploy all of the resources, actually, Jackie, can you just scroll up all the way to the top so I can show what folder I mean? So there's going to be a folder called run your own dojo. So if you go into that folder, there's going to be a couple of files for you to deploy the infrastructure. And so once it's deployed, you can start at the getting started section, and that's going to show you how you can configure your Cloud9 environment. So we're going to be using Cloud9 from AWS to do the coding, and that's just so Jack and Taylor can code at the same time. So let's take a look at the first phase, the first thing that we're going to be doing. Yes, you can scroll down all the way. All right. All right, so I guess, in the first phase, we're gonna have a clean environment. So first thing we need to do is to install Nomad.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, I was just getting feedback quickly to make sure the stream is okay, because I'm getting some skipping on my end, but it seems like the stream is fine. If there's anything, please just let us know in chat so we can kind of follow up on that. All right, and going into the IDE and installing Nomad, right? I already have regrets about saying I would be the one that can do the typing. Okay. Yes, we are shared. This is good. And this is the box we're going to be going off of, right? I can't hear you. Is it just me or is it Renan's mic?
Yeah, I think your mic might need a boost. I think I heard you just really faintly.
Yeah. Oh, the choice of live streaming.
How about now?
Perfect.
Perfect.
All right. I can hear you now. Good.
All right, great. Yeah, so I just wanted to answer a question on the chat about that. So we're gonna be using Nomad instead of plain Kubernetes. So this is gonna be 100% Nomad. We're not gonna be mixing technologies. Yeah. So, all right.
There's something about live streaming that makes you go like, I have forgotten every command I've ever known. It's gonna be great.
It's my favorite side effect as well.
Yeah.
All right, we've done that. I should probably move the direction somewhere else so I can see them as we go. Or split my screen maybe. Oh, geez.
Choices.
I feel like I want, no, you know what? It's not even sharing both of them. Okay, well, yes, live streaming. Let me just fix this and then it should be good. I'm one monitor less than I usually am, and I didn't think it would be that feelable, but it is. All right, unzip command, we can do that. Pretty sure. Let's just, download it here. Nice. Watch it be like, yeah.
In the chat, if you live stream or if you just code, whatever your situation might be, how many monitors do you have? I think I've got 2 personally. I've heard some people like 3, some people like more, but would love to. I'm just curious, how many monitors do you have? What's the perfect number?
Oh, peak live stream monitors for me was 4 for the webinar when we were streaming off of 2 computers. So I had like 2 for each computer. That was commands. Okay. Yeah, we unzipped it. We're gonna move it. I think it was to. I moved the instructions so I could see them and then immediately tabbed out of them because I guess that's just what I do. Oh yes, sudo. Gonna stress everybody out today. Let's just, I guess, type Nomad and make sure we have it there. Version. Nice. Also, it's worth noting we are running version 0.12 at the moment.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. So just to clarify, so this was done basically last year, and also like for the things that we're going to be learning, there's not like a huge difference between the 0.12 and 1.0. I think especially because 0.12, I think it was just one before 1.0, right? So yeah, so I don't think like there is massive difference. There are a couple of things there are going to be different, but overall, if you're learning Nomad from scratch, then 0.12 is a great version for you to learn.
This is true.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that's the end of phase one. Definition of done was to check for the version. I've got my version there. So we found our binary, life is good. So we're gonna go on to phase two.
Mhm.
I don't know what the winning solution is here for these instructions, but we'll move it back over for now. Maybe I just have it open twice. Maybe that's my solution.
Yeah, so meanwhile, let me just quickly explain what we're going to be in phase two. So phase one was basically just to download Nomad. And I think, a great thing that I love about Nomad is that it's just a binary, right? So super easy for you to set it up. And first thing is just to run Nomad in development mode. So that's usually when we start, with the tutorials and learning for the first time, you run Nomad as in development mode. So this is what we're going to be doing in the Cloud9 environment now.
As I slowly copy paste the command. So just running this. Oh, I already copied that. That's fine.
Shout out to the link to Stack Overflow in there, one of my favorite sites, one of my favorite friends. I think we see each other just about every day. Not sure if any of y'all saw, but I think it was April Fool's Day this year. Stack Overflow had a funny thing when you would go and copy the text on a page, and they said, "Thank you for copying this code. You get 4 more, so you get 5 total," as their April Fool's Day joke. I thought that was pretty funny. I wonder how profitable that could be for them if they switch to something like that. Hopefully, they never do.
Please no. So I'm just opening the instructions on the other monitor again.
And a while ago, so I just want to answer one of the questions in the chat. So difference between Nomad, Kubernetes, and Fargate. So I think Nomad and Kubernetes, I'll just defer that to the HashiCorp folks. I think they can explain way better than I can. But I wanted to make a parallel with Fargate, and I think it's a very important question. So basically, whenever you have Nomad, there's no managed solution for Nomad on AWS, I believe, but Kubernetes there is with EKS. So when you deploy, let's say, an EKS cluster in AWS, you have an option to, or even if you're deploying Kubernetes yourself, not using a managed solution, you can use normal EC2 instances for you to run all of your workloads. But the thing is that you're going to pay for that instance, right? So you're going to run that instance, you're going to pay for it. And also the thing is that you can run as much as you want, right? Because the instance is yours. So if you want to leave it running for 24 hours and leaving your application running, that's fine. Just
Oh, I think your mic cut out. That's fine. Just is where it cut out.
How about now?
There
You're
it is.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
When you moved it, I think it might have been the cord.
All right, see. All right. Well, I don't know until when people heard, but yeah. So I was just basically explaining the difference between Fargate with just managing Kubernetes yourself. So basically, yeah. So if you're deploying Kubernetes cluster on, or even Nomad cluster in AWS, you have an option to deploy all of the EC2 instances yourself, and that means you're gonna have to manage those instances, patch the system, install all the dependencies, and so on. Now, when it comes to Fargate, it's a little bit different. So Fargate, you basically tell AWS, okay, I want to run.
It cut out again. Well, it's quieter. I don't know why it's done. Like it hasn't done this on any other times we've done things. It's just Friday live streams, I guess.
I know. Is it better now? It could be my mic.
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, let's try without my headphone, without the mic. All right, let's keep going. All right, so yeah, so when it comes to Fargate, so basically you tell AWS, okay, I want to run these containers, and so you don't care where you're gonna run. You're just gonna tell AWS, run this for me, and AWS gonna go to their infrastructure, run it somewhere, and charge you by CPU, memory, just the resources, not the whole virtual machine. So that's the main difference between running without Fargate and with Fargate. All
Yeah,
right,
and I
so
think
what's
otherwise,
happening?
there's different types of orchestration tools. Like you could go with like, Docker Swarm or Kubernetes or Nomad. I'm sure there's other options that I'm not thinking of right now, but what it really comes down to at the end of the day is what the best fit is for the problems that you're dealing with in your architecture, and like what kind of requirements you need to work inside of. So I guess some of the easy ones to point out would be if you're hoping to like skip containerizing and just kind of orchestrate your binaries, then Nomad would be a really good choice. If you're looking for something that you just kind of set up and run with, there's different options for all of them. Like it's kind of just getting some requirements and looking into it and playing around with it and just seeing what feels best for you and your use case. So yeah.
All right, so you ran the command for dev, and then you do a status. Great.
Yeah, now we've got a status, we're there. I wasn't really sure if I should type while we're talking, so it's like I don't want to split people's attention. Yeah, so we've got a command for end of phase 2. I was originally going to do like a level tracker on the stream, and I'm really happy I didn't right now because the extra effort to like tab and change the number would have been too much for my attention span right now. All right.
One thing to clarify here, so when you ran the command to start in development mode, so Nomad, you can have the servers and the clients, but when you run in development mode, it's running everything in the same machine, right? So both server and client are running in the same process. So when Jackie ran the command Nomad node status, so that's for you to find out the status of the client only, right? But everything is in the same machine, so that's why we saw that it was ready.
Perfect.
Okay.
So that brings us to phase 3, which I remember to open on the streamed monitor this time.
Yeah, this is when it gets fun, because right now you have a cluster, right? Or even though it's just one single process, but now that's when you're going to start defining the job so you can deploy the front end application.
Perfect. Wow, this might be rough with me trying to live stream too. We'll see how it goes. I think my attention span is going to be like, woo, what is words? All right. So let's see, we're talking about HashiCorp configuration language, a language that we are familiar with. We'll be talking about jobs, task groups, and tasks. Awesome. So I guess just like a quick run through for anybody who's listening, tasks are generally our smallest piece in Nomad. So whatever your command is, like the absolute smallest piece, your groups can have a bit more than just the one thing. They kind of define more things. I'm giving the worst explanation ever. It's just how live streams go, I guess. And then the job's the actual full thing that we want to run. So I'm sure somebody might correct me in chat with a better description, and that is totally fine with that. All right. So I'm going to create a file called frontend.nomad. Ooh, Charlie, how did the Kubernetes go? Okay, I got to close this one. I keep tabbing to that one by accident.
I think that has been fun, is kind of understanding the difference between the different orchestration systems and understanding pods versus tasks. And I think task group is kind of an interesting concept in and of itself, the more that I've got to learn about it, and kind of how it relates to, say, like a namespace or something like that too. There was a book, I have to find the link for y'all, but there's a really good book that just came out from Manning Publishers, and they talk about building your own orchestrator using Go. So I'll go ahead and find that link thread in chat. But really, so far it's been a fascinating read, and kind of just understanding the why and why and how of the problem.
That is true. Sorry, I'm just pausing. So I was like, I swear there's an easier command to create a job template instead of me trying to remember how to do it from scratch. But I haven't been doing much this last month or two because I've been on vacation mostly. So my brain's just like, well, we forgot everything.
Oh, I think Charlie.
There we go, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie.
Effort tracker. Nice. All right. This is just gonna, yeah, there we go. So we'll just grab this out. We're gonna move it over to here. Let's save and change this. I think we said we were gonna use Terraform. Oh, typed a T in there instead.
Yeah, Terraform will give you the right syntax highlighting.
Nice.
There you go.
Okay. I guess this is probably a good place for me and Taylor to figure out how to pair together. How do we want to go about doing that?
Let's see. So I can pull this up.
So saying we don't need to define region. We don't have one in this example, which is great. We're going to be checking the node status to see which data center it's under. Oh no, that's not the terminal. What's our pepcac counter at?
It's like NAN is what it says.
Yeah, not a number. Oh, geez. All right, so we've got that one. That's fine. Our type should be service.
And then is there a way to open up another terminal in Cloud9 that either of you know of? Or I guess maybe we could
Yeah,
so
you should be able to hit this like plus.
Exactly, yeah.
Fantastic. So yeah, if I jump in here and type in this Nomad node status, we can see that. Delightful.
Do you ever just like forget how to spell pepcac even though somebody spelled it right above you? Yeah. Okay, so we want to add our service in. I'm drawing a huge blank on where services go, so that's good. We'll just open some docs on the side. Oh, that's code of conduct. All right, that's fine.
That's good to follow too.
Oh, I closed the docs on the other window. We're doing great. We were on phase 3, right?
Yeah.
Correct. I think that's the biggest thing
Oh,
for
that
me
changes all of mine.
is understanding the service versus the service declaration inside of that job file. So that's something that's kind of new to me. I come from Kubernetes world where typically there's deployments, services, ingresses, and things of that nature. And so kind of nice. It's nice to be able to have that all defined in one place as just a point of difference.
Yeah, I think another thing to clarify as well is sometimes you might see something here which is different than the latest documentation in Nomad, but yeah, just bear in mind that we're working with the 0.12 here.
Yeah, that's true.
Good call out.
Can't explain so much. What things would you like to explain, Charlie? While I sit here. All right. I should have just like looked at the example, but I guess that's cheating.
This one is okay. It's just for you to get started.
Okay. I think I might have put way too much in here right now. What did we need again? We needed a name, a region, a data center, a type. Cool. I think we can take out most of this then, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm becoming very aware right now of how often I look at my other Nomad service, like Nomad files while writing them.
It reminds me of that, if y'all have seen that XKCD comic of like the one person that's trying to disarm a bomb and they're like, you can't use Google, you have to look up this the tar command.
Oh, geez.
Like, I failed you. I can't. I need Google.
Yeah, I'm just like way overthinking everything. Some live streaming. That's just how it goes. Okay. I mean, I could just aggressively do this and stop overthinking life. Nice. Renan's disappointed. It's okay.
I was actually going to suggest to do that in the beginning.
Oh, yeah, that could have saved some time.
Yeah, because I mean, it's very handy to have the commit to initialize a file, but sometimes there's so much information that you're like, you don't know where to start, right?
Oh my God, that tar command. Okay. All right. Coming back to this file, we're paying attention. It is really hard to like try to look at our group call and also like the group chat, but also the instructions, but also the editor. And I think my brain's just like steaming trying to do it. Okay. So at this point, we've now copy pasted the file. Nice. We've got our count in there. Cool. Name of the group can be the same, or we can specify it. We'll keep it the same for now.
I
And
like
then we're
it.
going to do a task. So on driver and config.image. Okay, cool. So it's going to be under group. Forget if count is above that or not. I feel like I'm going to be stressing so many people out who are watching me do this live right now. And it's like, I'm sorry. Didn't mean it to be this way. I think so. And we're going to want to do, let's see, config.image. Hi, Jono. Thanks for joining. Oh yeah, Jono was in our original run of this last year. Do I have to configure driver for this? I don't remember.
Yeah, you're gonna have to for this.
Okay.
Where there's a driver, there's a way.
Okay, can I like stop this video? I keep seeing myself tab on my tablet and I'm like, please no. This is not what I wanted. Okay, so we got task, driver, config. Cool. We're just gonna do this for now and probably upset some more people as I put this just directly in like that. Task, cool.
A giant shout out to Rosemary, who has one of our fellow coworkers who has gotten the phase counter with Nightbot working. So we will be able to track which phase we're in.
Nice. Is it?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
I was trying to understand what was going on with that on Nightbot as well.
That seems like a really big indent. Okay, we'll just use spacebar.
And Charlie, thanks for clarifying. Charlie says, so one thing I learned is that when you pair Consul DNS with Nomad's service stanza, you get something somewhat similar to a Kubernetes service. But because we don't want to reinvent Consul, we expect folks to compose to win there. So that's a great point. Always better when you can compose instead of build something else into something, because then it can always break, or something wrong can happen there. Sounds like a Nomad task group is a lot like a Kubernetes deployment, and absolutely would have to agree on that front. And Charlie also pointed out the power of Nomad plan. So I actually didn't know about that. That's pretty helpful.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we're gonna do a plan
nice.
after that.
Good call. Okay. Here, right? Nice. I don't remember if I need the .nomad at the end.
Yep. You can
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently we're fine. What's our next step in here? Plan, we get this output. And we're gonna run it. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Like to the moon.
So I just wanted to explain one thing before we move on to another phase. So you can basically see this Nomad job run check index, right? And this is basically like if you work with Terraform before, so usually the flow is you do a plan, you take a look at all the changes, and then you do it and apply. But if you do, let's say, a plan, and then you wait for a long time to do the apply, and then something changes in between, that doesn't mean they're going to apply what you planned. Yeah. And so this job run check index is just to make sure that what you're running with Nomad is exactly what you applied. So if you want to make sure of that, you just have to specify this check index, and then the index in this case is 0. So this is tracked by the Nomad server, so it knows which index is at. So yeah, so this is just guaranteed that you're actually running what you planned.
Incredibly helpful, and yeah, I'm having deja vu working with Terraform and kind of seeing some similar things there too, which I'm a big fan of.
Do you want to try swapping typing for a bit, and I'll tap you in, and then we'll see how it goes? Okay, see how the stream works for this. I can either swap screen sharing, or we can see if it updates as you go.
Yeah. So let's see. So I'm going to jump into. So that job should be running, if I'm not mistaken, and I can take a look at phase 4. Or just above phase 4. All right. So I'm going to pop into this one tab here and let's go.
Ooh, I might not be able to see your terminal unless we're typing the same one.
I think it might be a new one. Let me double check and see. So that is.
I think if you type it on the same one, we should be able to see the commands here.
Gotcha. Let me see. Just type in clear and see if that pops up anywhere. Interesting. I don't see that. Let me just refresh my window and see if that fixes it. Strange. I don't see that, but no worries. I could always share my screen.
Yeah, that works. As my voice fails me. Here, I'll stop screen sharing words. Woo. And then you should be able to go do it.
Fantastic. Okay, cool. So this job is running. I'm going to shift over
I can't see your screen yet.
Oh, nice. Can you see it now?
I am able to see, but the font is just a little bit too small.
Oh,
so
I can see it. There we go.
Increase a little bit.
Yeah.
I lied to you. Dual
Great.
monitor bamboozled me again.
That's my that and the increase your type size, I think, is some of the most requested things that we get. So totally understand that. All right. Okay. So phase 4, creating a multi-node cluster. So far we've been running Nomad on a single instance. Now it's time to learn how to create a multi-node cluster where servers and clients are running in separate instances. Directions now are to go back to Nomad where we're running it and hit Control C so that we can close out Nomad. We'll go ahead and kill that. I just hit Control C. It'll take a second here to gracefully shut down. We don't want to sudo kill 9 this thing, so give us some time to actually shut down. All right, there we go. Let's see here. Next steps are starting the server. So the instance where we have everything running will be the Nomad server, but we'd want to have, say, 3 or 5 Nomad servers plus all of the Nomad clients. So next instructions are create a file called server HCL. Name doesn't matter, it could be anything. So let's go ahead and do that over here. And new file and server HCL. Delightful. So easy. So far. As you might know, with configuration, there are always so many things to set. If you check the documentation, you'll be able to see that there are tons of things there. We don't want to get too fancy. Let's go ahead and set some of these things that Brendan has outlined. I'm going to go ahead and pull from the documentation the values that we have here. So log level is at debug, which is okay. The data directory, we could choose any directory, but I'm going to go ahead and go under home and specify that directory. So let's see what we're working with. All right, let's go ahead and make a directory and call that Nomad. And we'll be able to take this path and put that in there. Okay. With server enabled, we're going to go ahead and want to set that to true. And bootstrapped expect. This has burned me before when setting up Consul using a Helm chart. I think I had, I forget what value it was. It was either like 3 or 5. And I just had my cluster kind of spinning out on me. So that was kind of wild and crazy. So we will only have one single Nomad server. So I believe I can just put 1 in there. And then advertise address. So how are we going to want to allow this to connect to things? For now, we're going to go ahead and just set this to quad 0. So that should be good on that front. Okay. So I think I'm done there. If anyone sees any issues, please feel free to call those out. Otherwise, we're gonna go ahead and do this live. Let me go back to my server console and run this. Replace the dev flag with another flag that will allow you to provide the path for the configuration file above. So let me pull up Nomad help and remember what that is. Let me go ahead and clear that. I'm actually going to refresh this browser because it looks like it was having some issues with scroll. All right. So to set the configuration file, I don't actually know what that is, and this terminal is nice, but didn't give me enough to view on that front. Do you know what that command might be, Jackie? Or otherwise, I could just take a look at the docs and see if we can find that. Nomad server agent.
Charlie's coming in chat with a dash config.
Oh, delightful. All right, so we won't add, we will not be adding -dev. We're going to go ahead and actually just specify this same I don't know where this, Renan, do you know where these files are stored, or is this just going to be within the, oh, there we are.
Yeah.
Again, I'm overthinking it as well. They just make it nice and easy.
I feel like that's just the curse of live streaming where you're like, oh, I'm doing it and people can
Is it
see
right?
what I'm
Is it
doing.
right?
Did I typo everything? Does it even make sense?
All right. So I did get an issue here on the data directory. I might have made one of the mistakes that will typically happen is the double quotes.
Can we just get a terminal bump up in size again? And then also, can you change that text on the bottom of the Terraform so we get some colors?
Absolutely. I'm not able to bump up the terminal, unfortunately, it looks like, but this I can.
You actually can, but you need to go to preferences. Yeah, I don't know why you can't do a control plus or command plus, but if you go to preferences, so the Cloud9 icon at the top, yeah, this one, and
Nice.
you go to users, I believe, user settings, there's gonna be terminal. Yeah, just keep scrolling down until you see terminal. Wait, yeah, right up there.
Ah, delightful.
There you go.
All right, and let me know if that is large enough for you. Otherwise, we can go ahead and change that. And I might need help on the data directory too, just as a pointer as to what I might be doing incorrectly there.
So right now, what do you have in your server HCL? Let's take a look. Okay, so I've got user. Does this folder exist? Did you create it?
Yes.
You created it? Okay.
I did just add a trailing / so might also be that.
Yeah, try without it.
Yeah, so I tried with and without. It doesn't look like it likes it either way.
Okay. Now, yeah, I think what might be the problem is on the advertise. So you've got zeros without quote. So I think you need a quote around that.
Gotcha. Oh, nice. Yeah, that did change. Fantastic.
All right.
All right. Wonderful. So looks like that is okay.
Just one thing, Taylor, before we move on. So this is something that he was explaining on the challenge. So for the Nomad server, because we're not going to be running any sort of workloads there, we don't need to use sudo for that. So we can just run without sudo.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And it looks like it doesn't like that for some reason.
Do you still have something else running somewhere else in another terminal?
Let me see. No. Let's see. Yeah, no Nomad. It doesn't like this folder.
I think it's because you run as sudo before, so you set up different permissions. Now you're trying without. So maybe just either change the permission or just delete the folder and create it again. I think that should work.
Yeah. Always easier to destroy than create. So I'm going to go ahead and,
Exactly.
go ahead and do that. Let's see. Should be able to do that. Okay. All right, and let's go ahead and run this again, and we should be good to go. Fantastic. Okay, that is working as expected. Okay, once you're done, did that, starting the client. So as mentioned, the Nomad client will run on a separate instance. The IP of your instance will be 10.0x99, where X is your team number. So we're team 1. So we should be able to get to 10.0.199. Open up a new tab in your Cloud9 terminal and run the following command. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's just reuse this one that we have here. Clear this up. Let's go ahead and run SSH EC2 user at 10.0.199 from the directions. And I do have that password. Let me pull open my favorite password manager in the world. Go ahead and grab that password, and there we go. When you're in install Nomad using the same commands that you ran in phase 1. So I'm going to scroll back up to phase 1. I do have my instructions in another tab. If it'd be helpful, please let me know and I can move those over and kind of take a look at things in that way. Otherwise, I promise I'm not doing any magic when taking a look at these things. Okay. So wget. Let's go ahead and pull down Nomad's zip. And then I think, were you able to run unzip, Jackie, or was that?
I was.
I love it.
It wasn't even a pebcac. It just actually ran. Life is good.
User bin. Interesting.
It might have been a different link, I guess.
I wonder if it had it pre-installed. Let me see. Which Nomad? Oops.
Hey, we didn't get this problem on the dry run.
So let's go ahead and remove this. Okay, so now we should be able to move this into. That's probably what happened. Delightful. Okay, so now we have the right version. So what I did there, it looked like Nomad might have just been pre-installed. So I got rid of it, and we have our 0.12.2 version. So we're going to be matching just about everywhere. Okay, so now that was me taking a look at phase 1 again. Let's go ahead and take a look at phase 4 and finish this out. Okay, we did that. Okay, now that we're in, we installed Nomad. Now we're going to create a file called client HCL. So let's go ahead and create that file. And click into that. Here are the parameters that should be configured for the client. Note that we're on another EC2 instance. We can't use Cloud9 directly, but since we're in Cloud9, we can copy and paste that, it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to borrow from our friend server HCL over here. Let me go ahead and paste that in here. And so the things that we're going to have to set are going to be log level. So we can keep this as the same. Data directory, we can go ahead and keep this as the same, but like Renan and Jackie pointed out before, we need to actually make this directory. So that it has been created. So that should be good to keep as is. Name. So we have to set the name of the client. It says call it team X client, where X is our team name. So I'm going to go ahead and
just over here making some notes quickly to say which IP is which, so I don't immediately forget after.
All right, so we've named that team 1 client. So this is not going to be server anymore. This is actually going to be client because you're going to want to connect to the server. So client enabled is true, and client servers is going to be a list. So we're going to want to use this syntax. And the server IP 4647. So let's go ahead and put this because we know this. Server IP, we can go ahead and get over here. It looks like, just pop open a new terminal. This over here. I should be able to run Nomad. Is that reading that? Nomad server members, and grab this address here. And that will be our server IP. Fantastic. And we don't need this advertised because this is just a client. This is actually looking up to our server to obtain all of that other information. Okay. Cool. Now run an agent in the EC2 you SSH'd into, passing client HCL as the config file. So again, we don't have that file here currently. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this Nomad zip, just to keep it nice and clean in here. I'll also go ahead and get rid of, that directory is fine. Cool. So I actually have to create this client HCL configuration. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. Excellent. And then let's go ahead and I don't know, whoops.
Charlie's trying to help us out here, and he's saying that we can remove the port number because it's the default one, and that he also sees some quotes in our future.
Awesome. And I'm guessing like so might be helpful. Awesome. Let us know if that looks good, Charlie, and thank you so much for your help today. Okay, let's go ahead and do VI client HCL. Let's go ahead and put this in here. And let's go ahead and save that. So now we should see everything that we had typed over there put nicely in here. And we want to run this command here. Agent config client HCL 211. Let's go ahead and see what is going on in there. Ah, nice. Whoops. So it looks like I just had a typo there. Please increase the pebcat counter. Awesome. Okay. So now this should be able to join the server, and we should be able to access the Nomad UI. So to access the Nomad UI, we first need to obtain Nomad server's public IP address. So let's go back to the server. We have this tab open. Go ahead and clear this. So there's a service that exists out there I'm a huge fan of, and that's ifconfig. You can find what your IP address is from anywhere in the world. You just have to run a curl. So now we have that public URL for our Nomad UI that we'll be able to access. So let's go ahead and grab that. We'll have to append port 4646 because that's the default for Nomad. And we can see that we have this set up. And we can also see our Nomad agent team 1 client is here as well. So, so far, so good. We will not be deploying jobs through the UI in this challenge, but the UI can be very useful whenever we need to debug. Absolutely agree with that. When you can see what mistakes you're making, you have a far greater chance of actually getting them fixed, which is wonderful. Definition of done: from the Nomad server instance, run Nomad node status, and we should see the client that we had configured. Let's go ahead and do that. Yay. Okay. So we can see our client is there and it is ready for jobs. Alternatively, if we went into the Nomad UI and clicked clients like we did, we would see that as well. And with that, I'd actually like to, if you're ready, Jackie, I'd love to pass it back over to you for phase 5 or
we can try. I've been trying to follow along. Let's see how it goes. You're going to see all the angry things in my terminal I've been typing in the background. So we should have it running on both the client and the server now, right?
Correct.
Yeah. One thing I was gonna mention when you start sharing screen, so we can take a look at the container running on the client, and just so we can see how it looks like when you do a Docker PS.
Sure. I know we did these things before, but Brain's like, yeah, we can do that. All right, so we should have server here. We should have the client in my other tab. You've ran the commands, so they should be running. Just do like a, I guess, Nomad status. Were we in a different user? Node status. We chill. Okay, cool.
And to
Nice.
confirm, Renan, we didn't have to, we don't have to rerun that job file that we created yet, correct? It was basically stop it, scale it up. And then since we've scaled it up, we don't have any jobs or tasks running right now.
Yeah, because before we went from a development mode to actually having a cluster. So you just have to run the run command again, just to deploy the front end exactly.
Gotcha.
So we're kicking off with in the Nomad server, run the front end job again. 179 is the server. This is great. And then I think we were wanting to do a Docker PS.
Yeah, that's gonna have to be on the client, right?
On
Because
client,
that's where exactly. Yeah.
There we go.
I did see a question come in. Apologies, took me a while to answer. Don't tease us. What is your favorite password manager? 1Password. I know there's some fans of LastPass, Warden, and some others out there, but 1Password just makes it so easy for helping out with family passwords or sharing that, not having to bug someone when they're on a call for what the Netflix password might be, something like that.
Ooh. So get into tasks, got our config block. We're gonna, I think it's at this level. My tablet turned off. That was my plan for watching chat while I was actually doing stuff. Unfortunate. There's chat. Let's see. Just tried to write a ridiculous word that makes no sense. Job struct error. Group task invalid key. Okay. Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah, so in line 13, you just need an S, so it's resources.
Oh, I pebcac again.
Here's the counter.
Yeah, get a +1 to the pebcac counter. Oh, geez. We should keep that for all streams if we don't already. That's great. All right, let me get back to the instructions because I moved everything over again, as one does. So we should be running it again. Okay.
Jackie, sorry, just before you run, just show, so scroll up a little bit in the terminal so people can see the difference. Yeah, so this is what the plan is showing, right? So basically we're gonna be adding the network stanza, and also we're gonna be modifying the resources. So that's why you see the plus minus, and then just the green plus for network. So then this way you can see exactly what's gonna happen.
Perfect. Run. There we go. It's like, hello.
Yeah,
Client
and I think
instance.
now it's a good opportunity for us to take a look at the client and see the key difference. So yeah, run PS again. So what kind of difference do you see here?
Have we ever got some ports now?
Yeah, exactly. So before we used it, so we saw the 8080 under ports when we did a Docker PS, but that doesn't mean that you could access the container. So now we're just basically exposing the container to the host, so then we can access the front end.
Nice. We got some front end. This is good. And that brings us to phase 6. Do you want to hand off again?
Always. Let me go ahead and pull everything up.
I'm sorry, I feel like I got the shorter one there.
So luck of the draw, luck of the draw.
Yeah.
All right, let me go ahead and share my desktop. All right. Okay, so scaling the front end, phase 6, here we go. So in Nomad, it's possible to horizontally scale up an application, meaning whenever a condition is true, Nomad is going to start spinning up more copies of the same application across the cluster, which makes it nice. I'm not sure if any of you were trying to check out or grab a Steam deck that had come out, but you might have noticed some 502 errors, some 504 errors, some 401s. If you're able to scale up to meet demand or have use cases like that, horizontal scaling might just be for you. So let's take a look at, let's go ahead and take a look at our job. So let's go ahead and take a look at front end. Let me open that up here. And the scaling stanza. So I'm going to go ahead and check to see where exactly I would go ahead and put that in. Let me go ahead and grab this link. That up in a new tab. So the scaling stanza looks like we can go ahead and put that in just underneath the task definition. So this terminates here. And we're going to want to, not have caps lock on. Let me go ahead and double check that. Scaling. Okay, already made that for me, making it easy. Fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and copy this from documentation and just put this in here for now. And return to the instructions because they have just served us so well. It doesn't make sense to deviate away from that. All right, so scaling enabled, we want to be true. Minimum, we want to set that to 5 because we're, we're starting to get some traction. We're starting to get some business going on, so might as well keep that up here. Policy, we're going to leave that empty. Policy will not be provided as it's meant to be used by the Nomad autoscaler. So there's a note PS, if you use the scaling stanza, count cannot be less than scaling.min. So since we added scaling stanza, feel free to remove count. So we can go ahead and get rid of this.
Yeah, and I think one thing that is good to clarify, and if anyone here is been working with Nomad 1.0, maybe you can weigh in as well. But at least back on 0.12, if you wanted to have a policy, you also needed to have the Nomad autoscaler in the cluster as well. I believe without the autoscaler, you wouldn't be able to scale up and down, right? But here, at least what we're saying is that we're going to have the minimum of 5. And then if you just deploy the autoscaler on top, then you can have a policy to scale up and down based on the traffic.
Cool. Let me go ahead and do a Nomad plan and see what we've got here and if it's going to work. I have a feeling it might not, based on some of the next directions. Awesome. So awesome, but not actually awesome. Failed to place all allocations. So it looks like we cannot run this, which is as expected per the instructions. For discussion, I'm guessing that this failed. I'm going to say my hypothesis is that we only have a server and a client. And because we just have that one client, we aren't able to scale that out. Might be putting one on each machine rather than stacking 5 applications on the same host.
Yeah, and also, so when you're in a client, so right now what we're doing, we're allocating a static port, which means that you're using port 8080 of the server. And since you were trying to deploy 5 of them, we can have 5 processes, let's say on the same port, right? So that's why it says that there is a collision of ports.
Gotcha. Right here. Yep. Found the culprit. All right. I'm good to take this next one, Jackie, if you're okay with that. And then I can hand a 8 over to you if that sounds good.
Yeah, that works for me. I'm just sitting here laughing at my own jokes I didn't make out loud. It's okay.
Awesome. So phase 7 is dynamic ports. So we just discussed kind of why Nomad plan failed. And it's because we have that hard-coded 8080 port. So let's modify the plans, or let's go ahead and modify the job file so that Nomad plan succeeds, meaning no ports should be hard-coded. We're going to go and have to edit this network stanza, I believe. So let me go ahead and take a look at that and see what we're working with. So we have, so let's take a look at let's go ahead and close this. So we do have a network stanza, which is great. We've got this HTTP port, but we're not going to want to use static. So let's go ahead and take a look at each of the different options that we have. So static is 1, and this is not recommended. So let's see what else we have here. Looks like we have 2 and host network.
Taylor, one quick tip, take a look at this example that they have there with the port foo.
So this will be, so I could just remove that static piece and that would emulate it. And then I'm guessing that's going to give me some defaults that will allow me to scale up, if I'm reading your hint correctly.
You're on the right path.
Awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and plan this. Awesome. And it looks like that is going to work for us. So I'm going to go ahead and change this out to Nomad run. And we'll see that that has been completed. Let's go ahead and run Docker PS. And we'll actually should see all of those containers running. I think I might need to. Yes, I need to go over to the Nomad client. Let's go ahead and open up a new terminal so that we've got a working terminal over here. I'm a bit lazy today. It's Friday, so I'm going to use history and grep for my SSH command, so I don't have to look that up. And there we go. Go back to my favorite password manager and grab that password. Great. Let me clear that up. Now, if we go Docker PS, we should see all 5 of those containers. Excellent.
And even though we see port 8080 being exposed, so that's how we configure the container. But most important, if you want to access the container, the ports are totally random now, right? So it's not 8080 anymore. So we've got some 29,000, 28,000, 25. So yeah, so that was the goal of this phase.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, does it scale? We've answered yes, it scales. With that, I would love to turn it back over to you, Jackie, for phase 8 service discovery, if you're ready.
Sounds good. I started making the file, but that's about it. So I was like, we don't need to see me fail at copy pasting.
Story of my life.
Oh, I'm getting a phone call. We don't need that either. All right. So
Hello?
I got stop it. So for phase 8, we're going to be adding in some service discovery, and that's so that our services being run by Nomad can find each other, which is ideal. We would like our services to be able to talk to each other. That'd be good.
Plus.
What?
Communication is a plus, but it is always DNS, which is always a bummer.
This is true. This is true. It hurts. So many haikus about it. I love all of them. So we're going to be running containers for the front end, but we're also going to be running this as a binary to kind of show that we can do that. This is
Yeah, I just want to quickly add one thing there.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a very important difference between Nomad and Kubernetes, because Kubernetes, you're kind of like going to be forced to use containers, but Nomad, you don't have to. So Nomad, you can just run, you can run Java applications, you can run binaries, and even virtual machines if you want. And so, yeah, so in this phase, we're going to deploy Consul as a binary instead of a container, just so we can see how it works. And then one more thing is the difference between, so when you deploy, when you're specifying your task, there are different drivers that you can choose. One of them is exec. The other one is raw_exec. So the main difference here is that the raw_exec, it's gonna execute the workload with the same user as the Nomad process. So if you ran Nomad using root, that means it's gonna run your application as root as well. And most of the times you don't want that. And that's why here we're gonna just use exec instead of raw exec.
Yes. Sorry, I was just kind of thinking here. So I'm going to go back to where we got our wget from, and we're going to go to these. Oh, well, never mind. It's here. Did I skip a phase?
I don't think, no, you're good on phase 8.
Okay. So we are doing exec. There has been 0 dog stream crashes so far. This might change in a second. This is possibly about to change, sorry. Yes, hello, hi. So there's definitely a dog right here right now. Just okay. Got the file. We have a job, a group, a task, which is the same thing we did with the front end. I think I can move that. Pretty sure I've already changed this. So drivers changed to exec and not Docker. We don't need this Docker image anymore. Group task driver. What am I missing there? Why can't I suddenly not read? That it'd be nice if I could.
Yeah, read not found. Maybe you don't have enough permissions. Try using sudo.
My attention span's just like, oh, this is all white text and it is all the same text. I'm like, no, it's not. It's real. It's here. I swear we just, okay. Yes, I read that part. Read that part. Where did the thing go that just said that? There we go. Yeah, job, group, task. Group, task is a job. Let's change that. Is exec. And then use this version. Oh, I deleted that. I see what I did here. This goes under task. Driver. Not like that, please. I don't think I need this part, right?
Yeah,
Let's
for
find
console,
out.
you won't need it.
Nice, thank you. I was like, we can aggressively find out when we fail, but where did I literally just put that? I just had that out. All right, I guess I got rid of it. That's cool. Is 1.62. 1.62. Oh, which one are we using? Linux AMD, nice. No, I don't want to download it. That's okay.
Yeah, for this one, you can use the 386 actually.
The what? Oh, 386?
386, yeah.
Okay. So we'll come back over. Where's my editor? Here's my editor. We're going to do source to here. What are we doing here? That's just going to put this into here. My plan. We mad. What we mad at? What'd I do? Closing braces, of course. All right, let's just do another pebcac.
Still at NAN. Yeah, not sure.
All right, so you're closed.
So I have two tips for you. So the first one is that you're gonna have to specify which command to run. Yeah. So right now you don't have any command, so you're not telling the workload what command to run. Yeah. And the second thing, just be careful with the destination, because once you deploy console, that actually goes to the client, and you probably don't have that folder in the client.
Oh, true. Where are we on the client? Nice, good catch. What else are we seeing? Is artifact a child of task? That is a great question. I thought it was when I looked here. Is it not in my editor? Or did I drop? Oh, I put under group. What did I do to task? Oh, it's right here.
Yeah, no, it's supposed to be under task. Yeah.
Okay, it is.
Yeah.
There we go. Just like a moment of, can I even read? Do I understand computers? And let's see, you said it also needs a command to run, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Where is? I just don't remember where that goes. Just under task and then exec command. No, it was a driver, right?
Yeah. So for that one, you're gonna want the config stanza.
Task driver. Oh, that's not my editor. Here's my editor. Let's see how this is gonna. Yes, great times. I swear we changed this. It's okay. Oh, not 3. That's the worst number it could have been. Okay. Take that down. Stressing everybody out with my parentheses use. It's fine. My chaotic copy pasting. And then I think we said we're going to run it console agent dev. I seem to remember that this goes in interestingly. I think it was agent then dev here. Think. Don't remember how to do this. Let's see if I'm wrong. Other one. I've already typed this.
I like the banter in the chat, and also shout out to Charlie with yeppers.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's see what happens. Did I break it? Great question. What did we want to do to, oh my gosh. We're already getting to Tab City, like Nomad run, deploy to the client, words are words, double check. We want to go to the client and we want to do this. All right, let's find out. Problematic.
Yeah, so do a job status. Let's see what happened.
Well, we're pending. This feels very familiar. Been here before. Let's see.
Ah, yes, the great refresh of 2021. Charlie said it might be caught in a failure loop.
Yeah, so take a look at the command that you're running.
Well, we want to do console agent dev and our, oh, well, rip. Let's try that. Dev cat counter.
One more.
Oh, was it not that way?
Without .nomad.
Earlier I was like, oh, I need this, right? Now I don't.
Did you call it console? Yeah, so just try, it should be try without purge. I don't know if you can use purge there.
This
There
is
you
why
go.
I usually have my terminal that's like, hello, I suggest the commands you use all the time. And I'm like, nice. Don't have to rely on my very, very bad memory. Try this again. Be
Yeah,
friends, please.
Jackie, your brain doesn't sync with the cloud yet. Come on.
I know. I know.
You didn't get that microchip? Okay.
Wrong microchip, I guess. Why are we still mad? Oh, there we go. The purge is in the wrong spot. That was close. All right, so now what's going on? Still pending. How do I get the alloc ID and check logs? So I would like to know a little bit more information about what is happening.
Yeah, you can specify the name of the job after status.
I hate that I remember enough to like be like, oh, I sort of remember I want to go with this, but not enough to actually just do the thing I want to do. Sort failed. Now why are we mad? So Alex status. Don't remember. Do like grep for this stuff. Not started yet. All right, well, we're like mad. That's okay. What else is going on here?
So let's do one thing, and if it works, then we can discuss about it. I'm not sure I have the right answer for this, but try to take out the destination, because right now you're telling where to deploy the artifact. But yeah, so just remove that. Let's see what happens.
Sure. Let's be friends, please. Great success.
Yeah, so for this one is a tough one, but I'm guessing there's something related to either permission or something like that when you specify the destination. I don't know if anyone watching knows why this could happen, but yeah, because I know when you don't specify the destination, it goes somewhere where the Nomad process is managing. So perhaps they have access to it, but if it's in /home/EC2, I think the process might not have access to the binary. Maybe that's why it's not running. That's my guess.
Possibly. Well, we can see it done. So I do believe it is now phase 9.
Yay.
I will stop screen sharing.
And I will tag back in. Let's do this. Okay.
I missed updating for phase 8. Okay, I'll update it again.
Cool. All right. Phase 9 is registering the front end with console. So now we have console running. Thank you so much, Jackie. Let's modify the front end to register itself. Sounds like it would be useful. Service registry can be achieved with the service stanza, which we've started to get well acquainted with as we've started to take a look at that in our front end example. All right, so here's what we have to configure in front end Nomad. Let me go ahead and pull that up. Let's go ahead and give our service a name, and let me go ahead and pull up that service stanza documentation. Let's go here, and fantastic. Wow, lots of things to set here. So this should be fun. Let's go ahead and so where is this terminated? This is under task. Okay, let's go ahead and start up here. Cool. We have our service stanza. Service stanza has tons of parameters. Here's what we need to configure in front end Nomad. So let's give it a name. I think for that, we'd want console, or this is going to be front end. Nice. Okay. Configure the port. We don't need to specify the port number. We can just use the port that we used before. So right here. I am a bit hesitant with this resources and network. Do you know if this is going to clash at all, Jackie or Renan, by having both of these defined here?
This one is fine. The only thing is when you specify the port for the service, you don't have to put the brackets. You just do port equals and then the name of the port.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Don't need to specify port number. We did that. That is great. Define two tags, front end and URL prefix. You will understand why we need tags later. So let me go ahead and take a look at tags. Okay. So let's just set like a list. Definitely a can do situation. All right. And let's see here, front end and not Old English. Sorry about that trailing E. URL prefix. Should we add this, Renan, with that dash / or is that just a?
Exactly. Yeah, it should be that way. So that's for Fabio later too, for the front end.
Gotcha. Spoiler alert. I like it. Let's configure a health check so our service knows when console is healthy or unhealthy. Type of the check should be HTTP, and the path, excuse me, is /. So let me go ahead and take a look at that. So here's the check. Here's the check. Type is going to be HTTP. Path is going to be /. Frequency of the health check is going to be every 5 seconds. I don't think there's a frequency, but I'll double check in a bit. Okay. And console should wait 2 seconds for a response. Otherwise, it'll be marked unhealthy. So we could leave that as is. When we are done, run the front end job again. So let's go ahead and do Nomad plan and front end. This is the correct place. So it looks like that is okay. And let's go ahead and run this. Magic. Okay. Awesome. Definition of done. To make sure that the front end task registered itself with console, let's use the console CLI. The CLI in theory is already in the Nomad client instance, but just to make our lives easier, let's go ahead and pull down that binary and start using that.
I'm not sure I understand.
Oh, Siri, get out of here. Let's go to our client machine.
Siri coming in with the relatable moments.
Always trying to roast me, I swear. My goodness. It's like, get back in your watch. Okay. All right. So we've pulled down the console binary. We're going to inflate that. Absolutely love the unzip command and the lack of dash variables that I have to give to that. Always a fan. To list, so we should have console version. actually just console. Oh, I need to move this, of course. Or move console. Let's move this into user bin sudo. Make me a sandwich. All right. Delightful. Okay, so we have console as a binary. We moved that in the right place. Let's do catalog services. Tags. Okay. And there we go. We can see Nomad client, we can see HTTP and console. So looks like everything is good there. You should see the service.
Not quite. Because remember, you deploy the front end, right? And you're supposed to have a tag for the front end, but we can't really see it here.
Gotcha. So almost retract that statement. You should see the service, define what the service stands at, including tags. Can't see it, which is our case. Try stopping the front end task using Nomad stop and then run it again. Absolutely. If it doesn't succeed, restart it.
Yeah, and this is something that I honestly don't know exactly why it happens. Maybe someone else can give some insights here, but yeah, so basically this would work when you stop the front end as well, or even in this case, you're doing console, right? So you stop console and then you run it again, then it's gonna pick up the new tags. But if it's running and then you change the front end, it doesn't pick it up. And so that's what happened there.
All right, it looks like we still don't have it just yet. I might have just stopped console. I might need to do that with front end as well.
With the front end, exactly, yeah.
All right, we've got that stopped. And there we go. There we go. Okay, so now we have everything. We can see all of the labels we've added, including the URL prefix and front end items there. Awesome. Well, with that, I'd love to turn it back over to you, Jackie, if you're ready for phase 10, which is running the front end on the right port.
I can try. Before we continue, I just want to do a time check as we're an hour and a half into the stream. Did you want to keep going, or would you like to kind of start doing a review and wrap up?
Honestly, I'd be good with a either way. I'm totally fine to wrap up and give people a chance to ask some questions. Otherwise, I'm very, very certain we could run out the buzzer pretty easily.
How about yourself, Brendan? Because we're in PDT right now, so I think your time is a bit later than us.
It's okay. I think like half an hour more, we can finish the challenge and answer some questions. So if you're up for it, yeah, we can do it.
All right, we will see how this goes. Where did my tab go? Here's my tab. All right. So that brings us to phase 10. As you can see, I searched for the word port and it is all over my browser now. Let me fix this window. All right, so we want to run the front end on the right port. As we noticed, it's allocating random ports to all of our containers, which is no good. We want to be able to actually reach our container and kind of reach into the port and make sure we're actually accessing it. But we've already discussed earlier that we don't want our ports to collide. The joke I was laughing at in my head earlier, though, was like about like, oh, we can make services like fight for the port, whichever is the strongest service gets the port. And I was like, oh, that's really dumb. Anyway, I said it anyway, so we're just going to continue now. All right. So we've got different ports. We want to fix that. We're going to add an environment variable to the front end app called port, all caps lock. The value of this is the tricky part. So we're going to want to get port, figure out what environment variables we have available to us during runtime, and then want to figure out how to interpolate that. So I clicked ahead so we don't have to watch me like staring at the link for a second here, like what? And what we have available during runtime is all of these. I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume that what we want is probably Nomad port label. But let's double check. Yeah, This seems likely. Driver specified port. Services should bind to this. All right, so it says services should bind to this. So I'm going to assume that we come into this file and change it at our service level here. Which.
So the service is to set up the connection with console, right? But what you want to do is actually change the task to listen to a different port. So yes, you would have to do it at the task level instead. Because basically here, so here what you want to do is you need to inject an environment variable into each one of the containers, because the front end is being configured to go to read an environment variable called port, all uppercase. So yeah, so you just need to find a way to inject this environment variable into the container.
Well, now my brain's done on me again. I was like, we're doing good, and now I've lost my line of thought. That's okay. So I got group, I got task, we come down to service. You're saying that it needs to be at our front end level, probably here then?
Exactly, yeah. But you're gonna have to use a totally new stanza for that. So when you're talking about environment variables, so there's a stanza called env, and that one that you need to use to set up environment variables.
Let's go back. Don't remember what it looks like. Please. Nice. So task. And this is going to be full caps port. Oh, my brain. So we got task. I guess just up here then.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It can be up there. Yeah.
Job spec section of the docs. Okay. DB underscore host. So we're going to do like a port. And how do we put this in? Probably like this. There's something else on that. What was it? Label. What labels did we make again? Was it HTTP?
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie in chat, like, I'm cheating. All right. Case does matter. Yeah. I remember running into that before with a different demo and being like, why is it mad? Oh, yeah, that would do it. Okay.
Just in case.
We were down here. Running the front end on the right port. Did that, change the template, run the task again. Okay. Not okay. Illegal car. Oh no. 816. What did I do now?
Yeah, so line 8.
Is it quotation marks? Is this another pepcac? Oh no.
Always quotation marks.
Changing the DNS haiku to always quotes.
Quotable
Let's
quotes.
try it again. Let's go back to the, let's go pepcac. Nice, I just spelled pepcac wrong first time. That's cool. All right. So we ran the job. It's there. What was our definition of done? Docker PS. Yeah, what we're looking for, I think it's just that it's mapped, right?
Yeah, so for this one, you're
Yeah.
going to have to go inside one of the containers and see if the environment variable has changed.
All right, let's just grab this guy. Shell. Is it Nomad port? I don't remember how to check this.
Yeah, it just missed the label. So you also have the label name
Oh,
in the
in here
variable.
too. True.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right.
Oh, I could have done just port. Let's see. Also nice. Okay. Nomad exact true. I could have done that. Let's see. That would have needed me to do like a job status front end, right? Grab my ID, Nomad exec. I don't remember the exact command. Is it just that? Nice. The Nomad way. There we go. And one more just for, because I can. Okay. That part's done. Don't worry, Charlie, I got you. So it's there, we're good. What's next? So the IP import will likely be different in your case. You want to grab the container's ID. Once inside, grab port. Nice, we did that. Yeah. So we're listening onto the same port, which is good. Download curl in the container. Okay. Oh, can I have just like ran env? Oh,
Yeah, so here basically the goal is just for you to send a request to the front end and see if it's listening on port 8080 or if it changed.
well,
That's good because it changed the port, right? So it shouldn't be 8080 anymore.
this is true. Okay, there we go.
Nice.
Great
Wow.
success. Now we're on phase 11. Oh, geez. Phase.
Nice.
All right, I will stop and hand it back over.
All right, let's do this. Here we go. Tag him back in. Let's do this.
I will also be right back.
Absolutely. Okay. So load balancer is phase 11. At the moment, we have five front-end containers running in our cluster, listening on random ports. In a scenario like that, it's impossible to keep track of all containers, their IPs, and their ports. So it is time, my friends, that we introduce a load balancer into the mix. So we've got a couple options: Nginx, HA proxy, traffic, Fabio. For this challenge, we're going to be using Fabio. Fabio is an HTTP and TCP reverse proxy that configures itself with data from Consul. And that's why previously we deployed Consul to our Nomad cluster. I hope you're ready now because you'll write a more complex Nomad job template. Like, ooh, okay, challenge accepted. Let's go ahead and define a job file called Fabio. So let's get that started. Okay. Nomad has three types of schedulers: service, batch, and system. You should configure the job Fabio to be of type system. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and grab some inspiration from our front end file here, and we should be good here. Okay. So this job needs to be of type system. Awesome. Define a group called Fabio. Alrighty. Define a task called Fabio. All right. I'm actually going to go ahead and shrink this down a little bit so that we can see what we're working with. I think. Let's see, weighting looks off. Let me check that. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3. Okay, should be okay. Delightful. Okay.
Just gonna mention for you to change the name of the job as well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Running with the win. All right. So we have everything named appropriately. With our task, we want this run as a Docker container. I believe that's what we had for our front end port as well too. So I'm going to go ahead and add driver Docker. I believe that's in the right place. Under task. Okay. Okay. That should be okay. The image for this container should be Fabio LB / Fabio. So again, I'm going to go ahead and check this. Yeah, let's just go ahead and grab that config. Oops. Image equals Fabio. Okay. Usually Docker runs containers in a network mode called bridge. In bridge mode, containers can run on a different network stack than the host because Fabio needs to communicate easily with Consul, which is a running process on the host and not as a Docker container. We should configure Fabio to run in a network mode called host instead, which is going to run the container in the same network stack as the host. Please note that you should not configure the network mode in the network stanza. You should configure the Docker driver to use host as a network mode for the container. Take a look at this page. Let's go ahead and open this up. Fantastic. So Docker driver, we want to run this in host mode.
Yeah, so maybe look for the network _ mode.
Awesome. Nice. And then we can see that we have host, which is what we want. So I'll go back here. That'll be in config, looks like. And that was network mode. Awesome. Nomad should allocate 200 megahertz of CPU and 128 megabytes of memory to this task. I'll go ahead. Not sure if we have that on here in terms of limits.
Yeah, so this one was something that at least last year I couldn't find easily on the documentation. I don't know if that's been updated, but if we don't find it easily, then maybe I can walk you through since we're kind of like nearly at time.
Yeah, no, that I prefer that, honestly.
Yeah, let's do that. All right, so basically you first need to define the resources. That's where you're going to define CPU, memory, and so on. So you need to have the resources stanza. And then inside there, you define CPU, all lowercase, and then how many megahertz you need. And this one can be just integer, it doesn't have to be a string.
Awesome. And then do you have to specify the megahertz as well, or?
Just 200, yeah, without quotes, actually.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So all the numbers, all the numbers without quotes, and then so you don't have to specify the unit. Then when it comes to the amount of traffic for that container, so you can define the network stanza. Yeah, because here what we want to define that so the task should require 20 megabits of bandwidth. So you define m bits altogether, and then 20. All right. Now you have to define two things. One is the port for the load balancer itself. The other one is the port for Fabio's UI, so you can see all of the containers. So yeah, so you need to specify two ports. One you can call LB. Yeah, it needs to be like the other syntax where you have the curly brackets. And so port space and then LB as the label.
Is that going to be like?
Yeah, no, so it's going to be, so it's going to be port space and then LB and then
gotcha.
the bracket. Exactly, yeah. Great. And then for this one, you can just do a static. And that's just because we need to know what port Fabio is listening on from outside of the host. So we're just setting to 9999. And then just one more, you can call it UI for the label. And that one you can set to 9998. Exactly.
Fantastic. Cool.
All right.
So now that we're done, we can go ahead and plan that job really quick. Group task invalid key network. So
Network, let's see.
I have that under task if that's the issue.
Oh, it needs to be under resources, at least for this version of Nomad.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow, what a mess. That's good. There we go. Okay, that should be a little bit better. All right, looks like that's going to work. Let's go ahead and run that. Awesome. And looks like that is running. So if we want to check the logs, it looks like. Looks good to me. At the bottom, we should see an allocations table, which we do see. To grab the jobs logs, we could do Nomad alloc logs, and then this allocation ID. Oh my goodness. Let's go ahead and grab that really quick again. That was this.
Yeah, without the network. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so no logs just yet, but that's probably okay.
Yeah, and the reason here is because Fabio specifically, it redirects to the standard error, and this one is the standard output, right? So yeah, so you would have to specify standard error.
Gotcha. Awesome. I want 1.8. Awesome.
Here it is. Yeah, so you can see it added the front end to the route list.
It's alive. Fantastic. All right, so looks like we could take a look at the UI if we wanted to. Let me grab this URL one more time. And it looks like we could get in on port quad 9. So should be able to see it.
So how are the containers? Are they still up?
I believe so.
In the client?
Looks like that is okay. Could always try. That was the server URL, so I could.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, there we go.
There you go. Perfect.
So we can see that, and then we can also see Fabio here. Fantastic. Cool. So that's serving all those 5 containers. IP and the ports might not necessarily be the same as in the image in the GitHub repository, but we can see that we have all of our containers here. And I can turn it back over to you, Jackie. I know there is one more phase, but I think that we are getting close on time. So we definitely want to do a time check and wrap things up if that sounds good to you.
Wait, that means you don't want to finish the final phase? Whoa, webcam, hello, are you okay?
I'd say it's up to you if you want to carry it home.
I think I'm good. Yeah, let's do it. We're like really close, so we might as well.
Cool.
So yeah, I think I put it in chat, but this is just our final phase of the dojo, and then we're going to be doing a review of the things we built. We'll be taking any questions that you have for us, and we'll also be telling you how you can get involved with dojos and participate in the future if you'd like to. In the meantime, which desktop am I sharing? You know, I've done it like 4 times today. I think I'd know by now. Yeah, that one. Nice. Okay. All right, so we're going to go to get an update stanza. So coming over to the documentation, oh, let me actually take a step back here. I started reading ahead because, yeah. So we're going to be doing Canary deployments for phase 12. And what we're going to do is look at how to do those in Nomad. They're pretty simple. We're going to go to our front end file and add an update stanza underneath group. So we'll want to set the correct parameters for that based on the information that's been provided to us. So let's come over to here. We get update stanza. I don't think we need all of these, but that is okay. I did see I've been sent a cheat if I'm happy to take that, but I'm not yet. Soon. Update stanza under group. Okay, so we got a group. Drop in some updates. And what do we need first off? So we want to use the max number of allocations in a task group. Words. How do they work? I'm assuming that's, yeah, let's just also take
the
this.
max parallel. Yeah.
Oh, I can't indent that way. Oh, this is horrible. Is there no? There's no. All right.
Tab doesn't work.
Oh, can I hit tab maybe?
Yeah, you can hit
Oh,
tab.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I hit
There
a command right bracket and then it did not work as I expected it to. All right. So we want to do max number of allocations that can be updated at a time. I'm assuming that's max parallel. So we probably want that. New allocations should be healthy within 5 to 30 seconds. I feel like I'm getting a pop quiz on what makes up an orchestrator right now.
Yeah, so for this one, we want the minimum to be 5 and then the deadline to be 30.
Nice. 5. That was 30 seconds. Failed allocation should not auto revert, so that's going to be false. Successful should not be auto promoted. Okay, so that's also false. And there should only be one canary during deploy. We're not doing a stagger, and I don't think we're doing a progress deadline there either.
Yeah, and a health check as well, you don't need.
Nice. Okay.
All right.
Get it out of there.
So eat that health check. It's fine. Doesn't need to be healthy. We're good. After configuring Canary deployments, nice. Let's change the Docker image tag. Go to config. We're going to do a front end 2.0. There you are. There we go. I can type. Run these changes. Okay. I'm going to just, I don't know. I guess let's just do it. Where are we? We're here? Yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm in a Docker container. That's what's up. We're cool. I was like, why isn't this working? Hello. All right, let's do it.
All right. Now go to the client. I'm gonna see something there. Yeah, just do a Docker PS. Yeah, just exit. Yeah, exit the container first. That's the container.
I'm in another container. Oh my God, why would I do this to myself?
Containers all the way down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so run a Docker
Geez.
PS.
Let's try this again. All right.
All right. Yeah, so you can see that one of the canaries, or actually the only canary is already up and running at the very top. So front end 2.0.
Yeah.
So if you go to so first just grab the URL of our IP address of the client, and then we can see on the browser what's going to happen.
IP address of the client.
Yeah, so just do a curl ifconfig dot co, I think.
.co?
.co, yep.
Okay.
Here you
nice.
Go. All right.
And we're going to which port again?
9999. So that's the port of Fabio.
Okay, there we go. See, I didn't do that part, and now my brain's like, I remember this sort of, but
yeah. So if you keep refreshing, so at the top you see 70D0, so that's version 1. So yeah, just keep refreshing. I think after maybe 4 or 5 times, you're gonna see version 2.
I can spam refresh. This is a task I'm up to right now. Nice. Here we are, version 2.
Version 2. All right.
No, I spammed it too much. Spammed right past it, but we saw it.
We saw it, yeah. So now we just need to promote the canary, and then we should see version 2 for all of the containers. Okay,
so come down to here. There things appear to be working. We're not going to do that from over there. And I think it's just front end, right? It's just promoting the job name. All right.
Yeah, and I'll go back to the client. Yeah, it's going to take a few seconds because the Docker containers are going to be spun up, right? So yeah, so just do a,
Oh,
that was
shit.
the,
I mean, shoot, I bleep that out. My bad. Oh, not again. Okay, let me go find the password. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, spoiler, it's not password.
Right. Okay, we made it. Docker PS. What's up?
all
We got
right,
some.
yeah, well, now we see 3 of them, but there's still 2 which are version 1. So yeah, so maybe a couple of seconds more.
You mean I shouldn't start spamming it?
You can try it.
Just
Should see more
As I-
versions 2 now.
as I spam it, then immediately hit X, like stop.
Yeah.
Oh, Canary tags. Ooh. Version 2. I'm just assuming that, yeah, we're just getting version 2s. Working as intended.
Works on my machine.
Wom, wom, wom. All right.
Yeah, this is a good tip about the Canary tags. I honestly haven't tried that yet. Maybe I'm going to incorporate into this challenge next.
How are we doing?
There you
Go
go.
PS.
Yeah.
Everything is 2.0.
All right.
Nice.
There it is. That's the end of the challenge.
Yes.
Well done.
Renan,
We made it.
Is this like a green belt that you get after this for mastering Nomad? What is it?
Send me your address. I'm gonna send you a belt.
All right. I'm going to put us
Awesome.
back to gallery view so we can actually see everybody again.
It's like you again. Hi. Hello.
Oh, wow. You're still here. Just kidding.
Didn't see you there.
Oh, fancy running into you here at a time like this. I think that's my new phrase to just say at random moments. Just to mess things up. Anyway. Oh, you did finger guns? That's my move. All right. So I guess we have the rest of the agenda is a review of what we built and kind of how we got there. How's best to do that? I guess, do we go back to the architecture diagram?
Yeah, we can do that. Just to summarize everything.
All right. Let me open it and then I'll screen share again. I was so excited. I was like, we're going to see everybody. Psych. All right.
Perfect. All right. Yeah. So I mean, in the beginning, we were doing the development mode. So we only had one instance, right? So just one process. But then later we split it up. So we had the server, which you see here on the left, and then we've got the client, which is on the portion on the right. And then in total, we had 5 containers for the front end. We did the Canary deployment to go from version 1 to version 2. And then we used Consul so that Fabio, which is the load balancer, was able to find all of the containers and start serving traffic to it. I think that's pretty much summarized everything we did in a few seconds.
I don't know why I changed my tab. I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna stop screen sharing now. Yeah. And so how long do these dojos usually take when you run them?
So usually we do for between 2 to 4 hours, right? I guess it depends on experience as well. So if someone is more experienced with the tool, they maybe can finish the challenge within 1 to 2 hours. For those who are new to it, they usually stay all the way to 3 to 4 hours during the event, and then later on, all the challenges they're available on GitHub, so then people can just follow along after the event.
This is a great opportunity, Renan. I really like that idea and just how it encompasses all of these. I like that you've broken the phases of learning into each of their own components. And we laughed, we cried, we grew today as we scale up our cluster. And so
Pepcacked our way to success.
it's like,
what was our count? 6?
I think we missed a few.
600, I think was the but This is wonderful. Thank you so much. Such a fun new way to learn rather than, just kind of knocking your head against your monitors or your wall, trying to read docs and figure things out. So really liked the intentional take that you took. So again, thank you very much. This is wonderful.
I appreciate that. And I think this is something that for myself, like I like to learn actually doing things, right? I can read as much as possible, but unless I actually get my hands on the technology, I'm not going to learn as much. So yeah, so I guess that's where the inspiration came from to create this thing.
That's fantastic. I had fun.
So if there's anyone watching who wants to participate in future ones, how can they get involved or participate or keep track of what you're doing next?
Yeah, of course. So I've recently created a new meetup group so we can keep track of all of these events and you can RSVP to them. So basically the URL for our group is meetup.com/build_DevOps. So meetup.com/build_DevOps. And then this is a new group. You see that there's no event yet, but we're getting ready to have these sort of events starting in August. And all the events are going to be, online, right? So it's going to be pretty easy for anyone all around the world to participate.
Yeah, I know something that was really fun the last time when we joined your group in September. You didn't really get to see it too much on this live stream because it's just one team, but I was helping TA your group and just kind of hopping in between the groups and kind of seeing how everyone was discussing it, approaching it, and which groups were stuck where. It was really fun. It kind of brought this I don't want to say race because that's far too competitive, but kind of like a little poke to kind of just it's
yeah,
good.
And I think it's also fun for you to learn with others, right?
Yeah.
Because one thing is for you to learn on your own, but if you have a group and then you can discuss, and there's always someone that has some experience, so they can then help you out. During the event, we go around to help all of the attendees, but I noticed that a lot of people sometimes they already have the experience, so they help each other within that group. But yeah, I think it's a fun way to learn, right?
Definitely.
Absolutely. And thank you all to everyone that helped out in the chat today, helping us out with some of those answers, and again, making us better as people. Now we have the answers. We can make the things happen.
Yeah, and I just want to say thank you to you both for inviting me. I had a great time today.
I'm so happy we finally got to do this. It's been months of planning and back and forthing, and we finally got the right time. So I'm really happy about that. And thank you so much for coming on to join us today. And it's been a bit of a longer stream today. I probably should post a warning that this might be a longer stream. Sorry, but thank you so much to everyone who stayed along with us and either participated or just followed or just here for the laughs on the Pebcacs. It's all good too. And yeah, thank you so much for coming on today. And I believe that's it.
All right. Thank you.
That's a wrap.
Yeah, I don't actually know what the schedule is for the next one. Is it on the page? Don't know, but there's probably another HashiCorp Live in 2 weeks as I quickly Google the schedule. It's not coming up immediately, so I guess we'll tweet about it later. And yeah, thank you so much everyone for joining today and have a great weekend.
Thanks everybody. Have a good one.
See ya.